Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to another video. All right, so usually I just watch like football highlights. You guys already know. But today, though, all right, I do want to talk about more live events. Football. Obviously, last night was the Ballon d'Or ceremony, and Rodri won. So, congratulations to Rodri. What I will say though is that none of it is the player's fault if you think about it, right? Whether it was Rodri, Vinicius, or whoever else won. It's not the player's fault. It's you're just, if they call your name, you're gonna go up there and you're going to accept the award. My personal problem though is once again, I do not care whether it was Vinny, Rodri, hell, I don't know, Carvajal, whoever they would have gave it to. It does not affect me personally. My problem though is more in like the criteria and the voters, right? Because I'm just a bit confused. It just seems like some years, right? And honestly, it's about every 5 years or so. About, at least based on the last 20 years, every 5 years or so, they kind of like try to be different, and they will give the Ballon d'Or to someone who like a midfielder, or someone who is more controversial to win it. For this video, I'm only going to use the Messi and Ronaldo era, so basically, last 15, 16 years or so, okay? But yeah, there's just some inconsistencies, and I can see why a bunch of fans, and obviously players, right, Real Madrid players, I can see why a lot of people are frustrated, because it just seems like they get to do what they want, year to year. There's no consistency. There really isn't, and I'm going to show you. We're going to start with the 2010 Ballon d'Or, okay? So, yeah, we're going to start with 2010. All right, so as you guys can see, let's just look at top three for the 2010, all right? Lionel Messi, 22.65% of the votes. Iniesta got 17.36%, and then Xavi got 16.48%. These second and third are very, very close. Now, at the club level, obviously, all three of them played at they play for Barcelona. So, at the club level, they all won the same exact club trophies. Now, obviously, Messi's got stuff like, golden boots, golden whatever, because, he's got all the goals. So, I get that. But as a team, though, as a collective, they won the same trophy, same big trophies, right? All right, and honestly, we are going to be focusing mainly on Iniesta, because Xavi, I mean, he has like a similar argument, but Iniesta, though, is the one we'll be focusing on right now, because he came in second, and he literally scored the only goal in the World Cup final to win Spain the World Cup final. You know what I'm saying? So Iniesta is the kind of like the person we're going to use for the sake of this argument. So we take a look here, right? These are this is the actual Barcelona site, so everything is or should be accurate. So I believe it was I always get these calendar years kind of like mixed up, right? But I believe 2010 to 11 season. All right. So Iniesta, for this season, he had 9 goals. All right, he had 9 goals. For Barcelona, at least, across all competitions. And I believe he also had about 14 or 15 assists, if I remember correctly. So that's about a total of, let's say, give or take, right, about 25-ish goal contributions, which for a midfielder, 25 goal contributions, and all the stuff he does outside of stats too, right? I mean, Iniesta, he's like a dribbling guy. I mean, you guys know, it's Iniesta, right? All that stuff he does. All the amazing stuff he does, that's kind of like uncredited for in terms of stats, right? He still had 25-ish goal contributions this year. Okay, now we will take a look at Messi, same season, all right? So same season, 2010-11, 53 goals. I don't even know how many assists he got this year, but just goals, 53. It's insane, right? He literally has more than like 5-6 times the goals that Iniesta got. But my point is, my point is not to, kind of like pick a favorite, right? It doesn't, like, me personally, I'm fine with Messi winning it. However, my problem though is the inconsistency. So it seems like in 2010, right, they chose, keep in mind, same club, both Barcelona players. All right, so it's not, he won, he won the league and he didn't, or something like that, whatever, right? It's purely, I think, in my opinion, it's purely because Messi had godly numbers, 53. That's just goals. So my point is, back then in 2010, they favored the person with better stats, right? Better looking stats, period. Okay, that's fine though. Second example, 2013. So the winner was Cristiano Ronaldo, about 28%. Messi came in second, about 25%. And then Ribery, 23%. So Ribery is kind of the one I will be using for this example, because Ribery, that year, I believe he won 5 trophies with Bayern Munich. Ronaldo won way less, but on an individual stats level, though, goals and assists, it's no comparison, really. Saying that, Ribery still had a very, very obviously amazing season. But my point is, back in 2013, guys, all right? Back in 2013, it seems like they still favored, stats over, I guess, like, how far like, good teams. Like, what am I trying to say? They really chose who was the best individual player, right? Just individually. Ribery was an amazing individual player, but his team as a whole that year was kind of a big reason, right? Winning 5 trophies that elevated him as well, being basically their best player as well that year. All right, guys, now we are skipping over to the 2018 Ballon d'Or, right? And this is my biggest problem. This is my personal biggest problem with all of this. So obviously, Luka Modric won that year. He took Croatia to the World Cup final. I get it. But first of all, I know they already overachieved. First of all, they didn't win. Okay, so it's like, I personally don't believe in awarding for second place. That's just me. However, let's say, Luka Modric is an amazing midfielder, guys. All right. I just want to say, though, that, this year, literally, in my opinion, I think they just did it to kind of, like, once again, be different, right? It's been Messi, Ronaldo the last decade plus. Oh, let's be different. That's how I feel. Look at Luka's numbers that year. Once again, okay for a midfielder. Nothing special, really. Nothing special. He does, like Iniesta, he does a lot of stuff that's not, you don't really, stats don't show you like that. But you just see it, right, from watching. So take nothing away from Luka Modric. Like I said at the beginning, it's not the player's fault, in my opinion. It's the voters. It's the voters. Besides Cristiano Ronaldo, all right, who was my pick for the 2018 Ballon d'Or, dude. Let's give a shout out to Antoine Griezmann, because you can argue that Griezmann had a better year than Modric. You can argue that. You really can. Like I said, the ones we looked at before 2010 and 2013 specifically, they all mostly focused on individual stats, right? Messi in 2010, Ronaldo in 2013. Why? Because they went crazy with the the goals and goals and assists. So I'm just like, so back then, right, 2010 and 13, and all the years in between, really, the criteria was who had the best individual season, best goals, assists, basically, right? But in 2018, all of a sudden, it's about who carried their team further. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even achieve the final reward, winning the World Cup. I know they overachieved, but you know what I'm saying? They didn't win. So they kind of changed it to where, it's like more of a who carried a team rather than who individually, just went crazy with the stats. So I'm just a little confused there. I'm just a little confused, really. You guys let me know what you think. I'm just like, does it vary from year to year? Because obviously not. 2010, 11, 12, 13. Like, all those years they went for, obviously, the same Messi, right? Messi or Ronaldo. But, yeah, 2018, it just showed me, I was already like, this is the year that I personally stopped believing and even caring about the Ballon d'Or, because I just thought it was, look at the point differential. Like, dude, how... What did Modric do? The Griezmann literally won that World Cup final, like, and Mbappe, if you want to go even further, like, what did he do to be 300 points ahead of, the next three? Who all have basically have an argument, especially Ronaldo and Griezmann. Now, say if they gave that 2010 Ballon d'Or to Iniesta, right? If they gave that to Iniesta, and then let's say they gave 2013 to Ribery, you would not be watching this video right now, because obviously then I feel like they do value like team play more, quite rather than just pure stats, right? But since those years they gave it to Messi and Ronaldo respectively, why is this year different? Why is this different? I do want to say though that maybe something that changed recently is we don't have Messi and Ronaldo at their best anymore, right? And let's talk once again. Let's go back to this year's Ballon d'Or. Vinicius Jr. had a very, very, very awesome season, right? But if you look at his goals and assists, I think he had maybe 20. How many goals? Maybe like 25 or so, right? Very good. But if you look at Messi, Ronaldo, their numbers over the years, I mean, 25 is a terrible season for those two in their prime, right? So I can see why Vinny doesn't generate the amount of, kind of like, I guess, what do you want to call it? Okay, let's put it this way. I personally always felt if you play for Real Madrid or Barcelona, when it comes to these types of events, the Ballon d'Or, you have an extra boost, right? I personally always believe that. But that's also in recent years due to the, awesomeness of Messi and Ronaldo. Vinny is no Ronaldo. He is no, he's not Messi. He's none of those guys. He's a good player. All in all, I just want to say, like, basically, I can kind of see a little bit more why they would give it to, Rodri this year for his contributions, rather than Vinicius, because Rodri, I believe, had like 12 goals, 15 assists, something like that, for the year, which for a center defensive midfielder is very, like, that's like the best numbers I've seen, really, for a CDM, right? Whereas Vinny's numbers for a winger, Brazilian, Real Madrid, you got to factor all those things, 25 goals and whatever assists, that's, once again, that's good, but they're so used to the Messi, Ronaldo numbers, I guess, for Madrid, that's nothing special. That's nothing special. What Vinny did. But saying that though, like I said, I personally don't care whether Vinny won it or Rodri. I just want consistency. All I want is consistency, right? Because obviously this year they went for the, team contributor way. Kind of, like I said, every 5-6 years, I swear they do it. All right, I swear they change something, man. 2018 was 6 years ago. Right, so 6 years ago, like I said, the whole Luka Modric thing. 6 years later, yeah, Rodri. This is gonna go down as a controversial Ballon d'Or year. I mean, there's so many controversial years in between as well that I didn't really get into. If you want me to do like a part 2, let me know. But if you guys want me to talk about like the Messi, Lewandowski years, like 2020, 21, or the Haaland, Lionel Messi debate that I hear some people say in 2022, those. I'll save that for another video. This one was just mainly to talk about I hate the inconsistencies. I truly do. I don't even care who wins. Why is this some years? Oh, let's choose the guy who took his team farther, or as a whole. It's the Ballon d'Or individual, not who took his team to the World Cup final and lost, for example. Just keep it consistent. Every year, either choose the guy with the best individual stats, or make it always, a mix of contributing and stats. I don't know, like taking your team furthest. But my argument for that is, if it was about the team taking your team farthest or whatnot, why didn't Carvajal win? No, seriously, why didn't Carvajal win over Rodri, right? I'm just a little bit confused because, I'm a little bit confused. Same national team, so they won the same trophies. Carvajal was amazing for club and country. Right? So I'm just like, what is the criteria? Is it helping out your team, or is it individual stats? Because if it's helping out your team, I'm giving the Ballon d'Or probably to Carvajal. But if it's individual stats, probably like Vinny Lautaro Martinez. Look at his stats for the year, what he's won. That's why I'm like, I hate the inconsistencies. You guys let me know what you think, though. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know. Yeah, let me know. I might do a part 2 and talk about the other years. We'll see. But I'll see you guys in the next one.